Welcome to the Loincloth Hour, a podcast hosted by three boys. I am Manicorn.
I'm Sydney,
And I'm Huron.
and we are the Chipettes.
We're the Chipettes. Wait, so it's Brittany. Who are the other ones?
I think we were just
I
having
feel like we
this
talk about this every
conversation.
day.
We just had this conversation.
Okay, so there's Eleanor,
Eleanor.
and then Bridget,
Okay, that sounds right.
Brittany,
Brittany. Jeanette, Brittany, and
Oh,
Eleanor.
Jeanette.
Jeanette.
Such a Jeanette.
I always liked Bridget.
Is
the
Jeanette
best.
even like? I guess that's like a name.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
it's like Janet but cooler.
I don't know. Janet's pretty cool.
I think Jeanette's it's literally like Frenchier, I guess.
Okay.
So it depends if you think French is cool or not. Is it a great
I-
start?
This is.
What do you think about Scottish people and their passions?
I think sometimes their women have really questionable taste in men.
My current D&D character is a Scottish, so
Oh, they're a Scot?
yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Groundskeeper Willie is Scottish.
I love him.
He's got like he like asked that lady to grease him up and just ripped his shirt right off.
He has
That was
played
crazy.
basketball,
And
and the other
he doesn't
players have
wear
played
any panties under that
everything.
kilt.
No panties, not even a jockstrap.
He's
Just
he
complete skin.
loves being naked, is my theory.
Yeah, like most Scottish people
Like
do.
most like muscle bound like weirdos who are like, like, oh, this is, like I have to show this body off because it's
Mhm.
magnificent. And it's just like, ugh, gross. Why don't you just bend over?
Remember Macbeth and his beautiful legs in those other
That was like we
episodes?
were like so thirsty, like that we were like,
We were
okay,
looking for
so
things to thirst
we
over.
were,
Sort of
and I
like
feel like
we're
we
gonna be doing
kind,
that in this episode.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
there isn't that much hot stuff,
Oh no.
but I think we'll find a few small
Yeah,
moments
I think
as
we'll get
as
there.
we go through. So we're gonna be covering the Gargoyles episode Avalon Part 1
Part
today,
1.
which some pretty big things are happening in this, which will have far-reaching consequences for the Gargoyle cinematic universe, so to speak.
I agree.
We're kicking off a whole new era here, although it's not. We don't necessarily know that right away.
Hmm.
But how do we feel about this episode? Did we how
I thought like the Scottish politics were really boring.
did you remember that there were Scottish politics in this episode?
I remember like Tom was watching like that lady fuck that evil guy in the barn house at night. And I'm just like, this reminds me of like, just like, just to add more, like fucking more weight to just like everything he's gone through in this episode. Because he goes through a
Tom
lot.
goes through so much
He
in this
becomes kind of
one.
like the Batman for like gargoyles.
Ooh, that's kind of hot.
I never thought you would say the word hot in response to a sentence mentioning Batman.
Yeah, but like it's hot because it's not about Batman.
Oh, okay.
But he is a different Batman.
He's like the
a hotter
gargoyle
Batman.
vigilante.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just like. I've always liked Tom.
He's
I
so
think he's a cool
like
character.
extra with like the way he comes back in this episode.
He says some funny things. At one point, he's like, "Is this a whole city of fools?" And I did laugh at that because I
He's
was
like-
like, "Where's Demona right now?"
Doesn't even like
He throws a garbage can lid at one point, like Captain America does. He's got moves.
he's learned a thing or two.
Yeah, where did he learn that from?
I mean,
He's only hung around two people most of his life.
oh god, that poor fucking. Anyway,
He's been trapped in a weird romantic triangle for like so long. And it's been really awkward. Although we don't even get into that in this app. But
yeah,
we know
we
about
just
it.
we just know that
We
it's
know about
building.
it.
We know
It's
that
there.
Princess Catherine, like the Magus, is like trying to like like prepare like the unfastening of his chastity belt for her, and then she's just over here just like being a little cougar, you know.
The men want her.
But
Like,
why
not
though?
just Tom, not just the Magus, this other guy who's the Constantine, Lord
There's a
Constantine.
lot to talk about that
He
show.
is, and I'm like, I don't know why. Because, right, in the flashback of this episode, like, she's lost her castle. She doesn't, like, have wealth. Like, what does she have other than her title at
Would
this
you
point?
would you like me to explain?
Yeah.
Because I actually know.
Wait, is Catherine Catherine's not a historical person, is she?
Yes, she is.
What?
Oh my god.
Okay, but also, um, I have gotten the entire story of their family from Greg's. Greg wrote up like this
Greg
massive
wrote.
story.
Okay. Well,
So
let's talk about just like why we're doing a flashback in the first place.
yes,
So, just to briefly recap what happens in this episode, a mysterious armored man shows up in Central Park
Hmm.
on a boat, and he goes off looking for gargoyles, specifically one named Goliath. And eventually, Elisa and Goliath find out about that, and they arrange a meeting. And it turns out that this is Tom, young good boy Tom from Awakening Part 1, which
Yes.
we all remember so fondly. And he's now a grown adult man. I don't know how old he's supposed to be. He looks like he's in his 50s, maybe. Uh, but like he is now the guardian, and he tells them there's some big trouble back on Avalon, and they're like, "What the fuck is Avalon? What the fuck are you talking about?" And then he says that the Archmagus is involved, which should confuse them even more. But anyway, he puts them on a boat, and they all go.
He mentions the eggs.
He meant yes, there's eggs, which Goliath had previously left in Princess Catherine's care before he committed suicide in a very dramatic way. So all of these things are happening, and then as they're on the boat, and Elisa asks him, like, okay, if you're from Goliath's time, how are you here? He begins a very long flashback sequence.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
So then, after that,
Uh,
we can go into some Scottish
all right. Let me give
politics.
you some backstory as to what happened here. So there were three brothers.
Three. Okay, this is like a
Okay.
fairy tale.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you have the king, who you see in this act.
King Kenneth the
Kenneth.
Second.
He's the middle son. Um,
Oh, you know what they say about middle kids.
yes. Well, sure. Not going there. Anyways.
I'm a middle child.
Okay. I have no idea where you're going with that.
They always need attention. They never get enough of it.
And Stephanie from Full House.
But okay, so
Sure, Jan.
basically, okay, I'm going to try and compile this real quick. So his father was the king. Shocking, I know. When his father passed, he and his brother and his latest stepmother, because they're all half brothers.
Of course.
Um,
They all have to fight for the throne.
no, actually, they all get along, but someone else wants the throne,
Oh,
so they kidnap his latest stepmother, who's younger than him. Whatever.
hot. Hot. Am I right, fellas?
Who's pregnant and holds her and the baby as a hostage so he can be the new king.
Okay.
Her name's Catherine.
Okay, another Catherine.
This is
Or
Catherine's
the
grandmother.
same Catherine's grandmother.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Men have been kidnapping this woman's family for generations, it turns out.
Yes.
I can't even like.
So eventually, through a whole bunch of stuff, they managed to 8 years later, they managed to free her by burying Malcolm, who is her son. Malcolm is.
I feel like Malcolm has been on this show. So there's been a Malcolm.
There are 4 Malcolms throughout the story.
Right.
So we have King Malcolm the first. He is the father of King Kenneth.
Okay, don't feel like you need to go into every. It's okay.
Yeah, this Malcolm is Malcolm the second.
This is back when men had 4 names, and that's all that they had in history.
Malcolm the third will show up later. That's the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
I'm so intimidated by all this information. Like,
It's okay.
So much.
Mostly none of it matters, so it's fine.
so here's how I structured my notes. You know that rubric you sent me?
Yeah.
You did like we're gonna talk.
I should have mentioned before we started this episode, we're sort of formatting the show differently.
Yes.
We're not going to be like recapping so thoroughly anymore. We're going for a more like, free-form sort of discussion. Yes, I'm trying to make all of our lives easier.
Yes.
I mean, that's fine. I want to give.
That's how I did it too.
I'm trying to give like a very brief backstory to the setup of this episode.
Brief.
I just wanted will you stop me right before the part I really wanted to get
I
to?
was
Yeah,
like,
no,
I
there's
was,
okay,
I was short circuiting
but
like 5 minutes
we
in.
should talk about it because like I really want to talk about one character,
Okay.
So
our problematic favorite
so
character.
in order to free Prince Malcolm, and this is the part I wanted to get into,
Okay,
they decide what they have to do is they bury him alive and trick the current king into thinking that he's escaped. Uh,
okay, but
so
he's just buried alive in the
right.
backyard somewhere.
Meanwhile, she threatens to throw herself off of a tower, getting rid of his only remaining
Who
hostage.
does? Catherine, the grandmother? Okay.
Catherine, if he doesn't give up. So he gives up and goes to
That's
Ireland.
hardcore.
Um, yeah, she's insane. She ends up passing away from sickness down the line.
Okay.
Like you do in the middle of this.
Anyways, so all of this is only important because the guy who goes off to Ireland, his son is um proceeds to take over the kingdom later,
Yes.
and then they proceed to take it back again. Now that guy, now the
They who?
grandson,
The Scottish? They
they
took it back?
they as
Who is
in
they?
the three brothers.
Okay, the three brothers.
Well, the eldest dies. The second, Kenneth, he takes it back, kills the guy who usurped it from Ireland,
Okay.
but then proceeds to take his son in order to try and end the cycle of killing.
All right, naturally.
Okay, and the son Constantine?
I
The
love.
son is Constantine.
Okay, so we
I
have an
love
evil
breaking-
adopted son who you think this would settle everything, but no, there's hatred festering in his heart.
Yes.
And he wants to murder.
So this is
and
this,
he will murder.
So he feels
Okay.
that he was the rightful heir, and it's been taken from him, and his father was murdered, and that is why he's had to kill Kenneth.
This is sort of touched on the episode, but it's mostly him like twirling an evil mustache and being like, I love. Okay, I know we're skipping so far, but I love the part where he goes to Catherine and is like, "Would you like to have dinner with me?" And she's like, "Sorry, I have to take care of my egg." No, wait, what are her exact words? Hold on, I have it written down. It made me laugh so much. She says she has to make sure all of the eggs are thriving, which mostly seems to mean just like
But yeast is
caressing
rising.
them. She's just like touching these big eggs, and he looks so mad about it. And then like the icing on the cake was she like added on like a little bitchy extra touch. She says, "Good day, sir," and I just laughed so much
Just
at
fucking
this because he is like he's supposed to be dating this other woman, but why is he asking Catherine out on dates for? That was crazy.
Yes. So to get back to the answer to your original question, the youngest son's granddaughter is Catherine. Or sorry, the youngest son's daughter is Catherine.
Okay.
So that makes King Kenneth her uncle, and that's why she goes to him.
Yes, she does to him, her uncle.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, but like she still doesn't have jack shit. She's just some princess.
Correct.
You know what
but
I
she
mean?
still has her title.
She has
and
her
that means a
title.
lot
Okay.
in this era.
So when I asked what does she have, only her title, you should have just said yes.
Yeah, I could have.
That's
I just wanted an excuse to give a little bit of background.
Hello, yeah.
Well, I can't wait till we talk more about some of these characters.
Well, you know,
Let's-
I mean, one of the characters we could talk about is just like I took notes on.
Let's
like,
talk more about Tom, our
Tom.
fresh-faced old man.
So he's like
who's here.
so extra with the way he comes back into the picture. I mean, this isn't like a character reintroduction. It's like we're seeing the peasant boy who has essentially spent a lifetime leveling up for just like here.
He's a badass now.
He is kind of a badass though. He's kind of screaming the mass vigilante trade. But like, what about that helmet?
Does the helmet like remind you of anything?
It looks so weird.
It looks like Goliath.
Well, yeah, it is a piece of devotional art that is like it reminds me of the specific brand of obsession you would see in like Single White Female.
What does that mean?
That is a 1992 psychological thriller movie
So
about
like you think Tom's been obsessing over Goliath?
I'm just saying, like the Guardian's helmet is like literally, you know, Tom walking with a helmet that is literally Goliath's face. If it's just like it proves my theory that Goliath naturally attracts men
Who are
who
obsessed
want
with
to
him?
wear his skin either metaphorically or metal or
Yeah, because as soon as he showed up, I was like, this is just Middle Ages Xanatos. Like this is like
I mean,
everyone's been cosplaying as Goliath
if
his whole
if
life.
Wolf saw that helmet, he would lose his mind. He would.
He'd think it was Goliath. He'd be like, "How did you get here, Goliath? I'm gonna kill you."
I was gonna say he probably argued that it was his idea first, but I mean that works too. And from a psychological standpoint, is it technically gargoyle drag?
Yes.
Okay, well then there you go. I mean, Tom's just like out here walking. I mean, like Batman's technically wearing bat drag.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes
He
out
has
there in
to
like the
inspire
little
fear in
tights.
criminals.
Yeah, and like
Why
the
does
little.
Tom wear this? To inspire love and devotion in a
That is
gargoyle.
true.
It's so funny that like most of his friends have just been gargoyles now. He only knows two humans, so like he just wants to like look like they do.
That's
That's
so
sort of
Yeah.
cute.
cute.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's kind of cute. It reminds me of like, oh Jesus, I take notes about like Wolf here. So.
Nice.
It's Wolf's entire mutation arc was about emulating Goliath. I feel like letting loose the hair, tore the pants to show the legs. Wanted
Mm.
to be the alpha and size up to him, but instead he wound up working like a Russian Beyonce. And then, it's like Tom, I guess, is just manifesting that same energy, but not from a toxic standpoint.
Yeah, he's like non-toxic masculinity.
Can we discuss his initial fight scene though with Lawrence Morris and Curly?
Wait,
I'm
wait,
sorry, what are there?
what
Sorry,
are
what
their
was that?
names?
Excuse me?
Their names are Lawrence Morris and Curly.
Who's the
Like
hot
the Three
one?
Stooges? Yeah, which one's the hot one?
Hold on, I'm looking
The
it up.
chainsaw.
I bet it's Curly.
No,
Oh no, Curly's probably the bald one, because that
Curly's
would be
probably the
ironic.
bold one.
Okay,
Joe Maurice and Curly. What the hell? Like that's so funny because
so
it's like they've showed up before.
so Tom is walking down the street, and like a couple funny characters catch sight of him, and we've seen these fellows before. They were also in Awakening. They were the guys who like heckled Elisa, and then Goliath beat them all up and left them like naked in an alleyway
Yes,
or
yes.
something.
I took notes on that somewhere. I just feel like
They're in there
that they're
somewhere.
they're ahead.
All right, you're right. Curly's the bald one.
Of course it
Maurice is the
is.
leader, and Lawrence is the hot one.
Okay, so there's this beefy
Lawrence.
guy named
So
Lawrence.
he has a
He
name.
has cool leather gloves. He has a sleeveless
Uh,
jean jacket vest sort of
okay.
thing happening.
So
He
yeah,
looks
the
great.
arms on him. Lawrence is the thug with the
Big
chain.
arms.
We need more men looking like that in this show. I don't care that he is a nameless back. Well, he's not nameless
He's not
anymore.
nameless
Fucking hell.
anymore. I'm
My
pretty,
notes are.
I'm pretty sure the first time we talked about them, we gave them names, I want to say, but I do not remember what they are anymore.
Oh fucking hell! Oh,
Lawrence.
whoever he is an absolute.
He's a
Like the
dreamboat.
definition, the weapon, and the attitude really work for me. And then it's like, to be honest, seeing him and his buddies prowling around the park gives me such specific vibes. Like they're looking for trouble, but the kind of trouble
Yeah.
that involves finding a glory hole or scouting for a big muscular monster man to pound them into the pavement.
Yeah, again. That
Again,
Goliath, the meeting Goliath changed all of them for the
yeah.
better. And I love that like so like they catch sight of this fully armored knight and decide that he would make easy pickings for some reason. So they take him into an
They want to
alley.
strip him
They
naked. Did
surround
you
it.
hear
Yes.
that?
No, I didn't hear that
They
because
were
I
like,
made
"Give
that
me
up.
that armor."
Okay, no, I think they wanted his sword. I think they said his
No,
but they
I
I mean
think they wanted to
they want to
strip
take all
him.
of it because it's probably
They're
really
like, "What's all
expensive.
that you're wearing, Tin Head?"
Yeah, so
They want
they
to
wanted him
they want to
nude.
know what he looks like without the armor.
These are just gay thugs who strip men and
I
sell
can't
them
believe
on
you
the
didn't pick
black.
up on
They sell
that.
them like the black market for underwear. That's part of the city.
Yeah, we picked these ironclad briefs off of
Yeah,
some like muscular man that came down the alley. Listen. It's so
I love
much.
them, but Tom makes short work of them.
Yeah. He grabs a garbage can lid, he hurls it like he's Captain America to knock one of them out.
It's so good. It bounces off the wall and it's the back of Lawrence's legs. And then when Lawrence falls, we see like his beefy bubble butt. like because it's stretching the seat of his pants a little bit.
One of them tries to hit him, so he blocks it. He bashes one guy with his back, hits the other guy with his shield, and then like goes at the other guy with his sword.
He's a powerhouse.
Um, when, of course, Officer Morgan walks in right at this point, who I would like to point out is voiced by the same person who voices
Goliath, right?
and both Lawrence and Curly, I think.
He's doing so much right
Keith
now.
David is Lawrence. Oh my goodness.
He
Yeah.
can do no
Um,
wrong.
so yeah, he voices whichever one of them speaks in this episode. So I think that was Curly in this episode, but it was Lawrence the last time they showed it.
Okay, there is a I just remember. So like at one point, I think like Morton tries to lift like
Yeah.
Tom's sword,
So
but but like it's really heavy, and the three thirds all like laugh at him, and they all like are leaning on each other. And it was at this point watching that I realized that these three guys are just Finn, Ratso, and Chow from
yes,
Jackie Chan Adventures.
correct.
They're like the same characters, and they all laugh the same way. It's that derisive sort of like laugh, and they're all like just enjoying each other's company. I thought they were really cute, and it's nice that we have like a fresh example of a positive polycule to serve as an example for the youth.
I also just want to point out, it's like that moment with the sword and like Officer Morgan not being able to lift it. It's like a very subtle moment of physical shaming. Morgan tries to handle Tom's weapon and
His
fails because of the girth
sword.
and weight. And
Mhm.
Tom watches him struggle, and so do the thugs. They're like laughing at him.
This is after Tom also said that like he would submit to Officer Morgan or
Yeah,
submit to his law.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was like, "Ooh, I'm a little weak. I haven't seen like a hot man in like 10 years, so like I'll submit to you."
Um, so on the topic of Morgan, real quick, there was one other quote from Greg's Ramble that I just have to read out. I don't know what
Uh-oh.
it means. I don't know if either of you
You
will know what it means, but I have to read
okay?
it.
Let me try to translate it for you.
Morgan's fun in this. I really like him. No one but Simon Del Monte will get this, and I don't even know if he reads these rambles. But Morgan kind of reminds me of Jeff Goslin, a character that Carrie Bates and I created in Captain Atom.
I don't know who that is.
Heck, you
When you
would.
said Gosling, I thought like maybe like is this a the duck superhero cartoon?
No, no, not Darkwing
Dark
Duck.
is this a Darkwing Duck reference? It's
No,
not.
no, no, Goslin.
Yeah, there's a difference.
If
I
it was
love
more, I just thought that
Greg
sentence
is
was too
sending
weird
coded
not.
messages to his friend
Oh my
in
God.
his little rambles.
I had to read that one out loud when I saw it.
Okay, so thank you for compartmentalizing it as that, because that's cute.
Anyways, moving on to saying goodbye to all our favorite characters for a while,
Yeah,
Uh,
which we're already talking about because Morgan's here.
yeah, goodbye, Officer Morgan. We won't see you for some time.
yeah, leaving the New York clan behind is definitely like a tragedy, and especially losing access to Hudson because like I like his big hairy belly and balls are here to comfort us during the tough times, you know?
We only
So
see them for a little bit in this arc,
yeah,
and then
yeah, they're
they
not
go and they don't even there's no narrative focus on their leaving. It's just like every other time they just go out on patrol.
Yeah,
But like we know, like they're not going to be main characters till like the
yeah.
very end of the show again,
It's
yeah,
basically.
and it's like you kind of like get the sense of like subtle melancholy, like no one knows it's gonna be the last time they're seeing each other for a
Uh-huh.
bit because it's like as Hudson's leaving and Bronx is trying to go with him and everything. Like
I
it's
know,
pretty
yeah,
sad.
Bronx wanted to go. Like Bronx of all fucking characters gets to stay and gets to be part of the main cast going forward.
yeah.
Bronx now do things in the show? I don't remember him doing
I don't
much.
remember him doing
He
much.
definitely does more
He
during this
does stuff
arc
in
than the entire
fights.
rest
He
of the
gets to help
show.
during fights from now on.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Um.
yes, like I know Greg said he brought Bronx along specifically because Bronx had had so little to do.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
do approve of that. But like, I don't think I don't. Well, we know that Greg didn't know at the time that the World Tour arc would go on for as long as it would turn out to be. And we're gonna go back to visit these characters again once in a while. But it's just I'm gonna
Yeah.
look forward to all those times. But I feel
Yeah,
like there's not going to be enough of them.
no.
I'd like to focus back on like that feeling of separation anxiety we're getting here because like this like this like splitting of the ways, like it almost like manifests in the nightmare scenario we see later in the future tense episode, because just like the separation of the characters feels wrong to not only like the characters
Mm.
themselves but the audience. So like I wouldn't be surprised if future tense was some kind of like nightmare Greg maybe had during the writing process about
Or
like
like Puck just drawing on like Goliath's anxieties about leaving his clan behind, being like,
that's
what
true.
kind of awful things might be happening in your
Well,
absence,
that's
you
true. From
know?
an in-world standpoint,
Yeah.
that's very true. But I'm, just like definitely like I think that, how the audience interprets the perversion of like abandoning a huge chunk of what we are familiar with about the show. Like I feel like it manifests in that later episode. But that's a
Mm.
later episode. That's not this episode.
That episode,
I'm
when
not
we
ready
do
for
it,
that.
it's going to go on for like 5 hours. It's going to be our longest ever,
Oh, that's
maybe.
like Tech Ninja's favorite episode,
It's one of my favorites.
It's one of the
It's so good.
community's favorite episodes, but it's
Ugh,
like I
I
can't
can't wait.
watch it without like a strong stomach.
There's a lot of pain in
There's a
that
lot of
one.
like I need to be like emotionally ready because like when I feel
Mm,
things, I feel
we're
things.
gonna be feeling things.
I don't like feelings.
Well, let's finish saying goodbye to the trio, to Hudson, to Matt,
And say hello to
to
the historical politics.
yeah. Let's talk a little bit
Unless
more
we want to
about
still, unless
Scotland.
we still want to talk about the previous topic.
No, let's okay. So Tom begins telling this flashback story, and in it, Catherine takes him and the Magus to the court of her uncle, King Kenneth, as previously discussed. And there they all did it enmesh in a bit of a love quadrilateral sort of situation. So
At least.
Kenneth, King Kenneth, is in love with this lady Fenella, who herself is in love with Lord Constantine, who himself is mostly in love with murder, but also maybe Catherine for some reason. And of course, Catherine has her own little boy squad who are all in love with her as well. So,
Um,
so yeah.
Like,
I think. Go ahead.
say like we get in and like within seconds, Mary just lays out like the entire situation.
And after she said all of it, I still didn't understand because there were so many new characters and they all have names. And I was like, I don't know who anyone is yet. Like all I got from her like talking, I was like, okay, somebody's in love with somebody, and I guess it's bad. I don't know.
So they actually cut a character from this episode because it was too complicated. There
Wow,
was supposed to be another character involved in all of
that's great.
this.
I haven't even mentioned King Kenneth also has a son who I guess matters, but he has a name that I can't pronounce.
Malcolm.
Yeah,
His name's Malcolm.
Malcolm.
Because there's already like 8 other Malcolms in the show, they went with a different transliteration of his name to go with
Okay,
Malcolm.
it's one that I have difficulty saying and spelling because I'm a stupid American.
But yes, Malcolm is going to be very important later on.
And I know a bunch of these characters are going to show up in the comics, and I
Yes.
know that Gargoyles Dark Ages also like returns to a few of these people.
I
Yeah.
think
Although I
so.
haven't read them yet, but that's from what I understand.
Well, I know at least from the comics that I have read that Malcolm is important to Time Dancer's plot.
Yeah, because we did see that at the beginning of Brooklyn's time dancing. He
Yes.
went back to this era.
Right.
Or specifically, he went to like 20 years after this point. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, my biggest takeaway regarding this Scottish like history here is it's mostly boring, but
It's mostly straight
I need
people.
to like talk about King Kenneth II.
Okay.
I initially dismissed him, but like watching it back, he's actually a little sweet.
He
Like
is
he
nice.
has a soothing voice and a gentle demeanor, and he's got a beard. He's an older guy, and probably has a hairy belly and balls to match all that
Yeah, probably a
too.
hairy
He's
ass.
actually not all that bad. But then little Miss Vanilla, however, calls him an old fool, And I'm thinking, I'm just, yeah, again with the Demona references,
Old
right?
fool.
That's like the favorite insult in this
But
whole
like no
franchise.
one really wants to hurt him though. Like even Fennella does not love him, but
I'm
she
just
keeps saying
like,
she doesn't want to hurt
I'm
him.
thinking like sitting here like girl, you are missing out on a rich, spicy sugar daddy who would
She
treat you
is.
right,
She's going after this evil guy instead,
and
who's so clearly
it's
evil.
like
Everything
zero
he does.
survival instincts on her part at this point in
She
time.
does learn though. She does through a lot of growth herself.
Yeah,
I haven't watched Say on Her, but I will hold back from when we get to that part.
Okay, whenever
when we
that
get to that
happens.
part on the recap, I don't
We're not
have.
recapping though.
Yeah, it feels like we segue into the recap
I'm
still.
I'm tried not to. How do we feel about the Magus in this episode?
Simp Central, bro.
I I found him to be like likable for the
Yes.
first time though.
He was useful because it's so funny how Catherine like leans on him to do just about everything,
Yeah. Well, he's the only
and
like
then she
adult
doesn't have
friend she
sex with
has.
him, and then he keeps doing things for her in hopes that someday maybe she will.
He
Um,
should. There needs to be communication here. Is the issue?
What do you have to say here on?
and I was just gonna say the scene where he and Tom were pushing the cart. They're stuck in the mud, and then he
Uh-huh.
helped him and held Tom's hand afterwards. I thought it was super
I
cute.
thought it was
Yeah, that
cute.
was kind of cute.
And like part of me has always been like we know that the love triangle will develop to be like Tom and Mavis both in love with Catherine, but I part of me was always like, what if Tom and the Mavis also had something going on later in
Maybe
life?
like a polycule kind of
Like the
situation.
solution's right there. If those two would just fuck each other also, then it would all be fine. But
Yeah,
men, am I right?
I don't know. It's just
Am I
like,
right, fellas? I've always been confused like how old the Mavis is actually supposed to be. Does he have white hair? But I think he's
well,
like Catherine's age.
Correct.
there's a lot of young characters with white hair and confusing ages in
Yeah,
the
he's like a
show.
young Bishonen. He's a beautiful. He's the Shomaru from Inuyasha. He's gorgeous.
I mean, he was the Archmage's apprentice, so
So what? So he has to have white hair.
no. So he's gotta be young
Oh yeah, well younger than the Archmage.
because he wasn't even supposed to be old enough to take over as the
Yeah,
Magus.
he's
He
just.
just got forced into it because
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
Archmagus tried to throw a coup.
Like he couldn't handle that massive blow dart gun.
like, I already talked about what I had to say about the Megas. Princess Catherine is being busy being a cougar, and Tom's training to be a gargoyle Batman. And the
Yeah.
Magus is just here in his chastity belt. Like, I
Uh-huh.
sure wish someone would fuck me.
Yeah, and on Avalon he's not gonna have any magic because he had to give it up to enter. So like he's gonna feel like he has nothing to contribute anymore, which is sad. He just needs sex. He just needs sex.
I think we all use a little bit of that.
I did think his line when when he helps Catherine escape and she says something like Constantine will hunt me to the very ends of the earth and he says then I will take you beyond them. I did think that was like wow. That was pretty romantic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I also really like the part where he uses magic to disguise the gargoyle eggs
Yeah,
as like pottery, but he
that
does it literally right in the middle of the
that part
castle.
gave me
Where I
anxiety.
feel like anyone like why didn't he do this in the barn
That part gave me
where they had the
anxiety.
cart already? Like they brought it out of the barn and then he did the magic, and I was like, aren't there 20 people around here? Like at any given time. So I did think that was really funny, and I really like the part where he kung fu staff fights the big owls.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah, he
He's just
turned the weird sisters into owls
he's
and
sort of a
started kicking
badass in
them.
this one.
Yeah, he does a lot.
I was into it.
I'm really like, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to get over that fence because, like, I don't care about him, and I'm trying to find investment in him.
Well, I don't think after this I'll care about him much anymore. Because all I remember going forward is like he's part of this love triangle, but like he's sort of like the obstacle to like Tom and Catherine hooking up because they don't want to hurt him by doing so. And it's just sort of like he's just sort of a sad sack about the whole thing,
Yeah.
which I
That's,
can get, but
I
it's like,
mean, I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't really remember how it unfolds. I feel like we got a
doesn't
lot of
he
like,
die?
I
Does
think
he
so.
like die
Yeah,
to revive Arthur, I think,
Yeah,
or
that's a
something.
spoiler or something.
Yeah,
We're not on Avalon part
Siri.
not on Avalon part 3 yet.
Yeah,
I don't know. All I know is like, the Magus. I don't really care.
yeah. What about his book of spells?
Um,
The more Marcanora.
Don't remind me that it's called that.
I will absolutely remember.
Let's talk about another part of this triangle
Okay.
of characters. Let's talk about young Tom for a short while.
we
And
did again.
Let's talk about
well,
young Tom.
last time we were talking about Tom the Guardian. Now we're talking about young Tom and his
His
PTSD.
PTSD attack
Apparently.
Oh,
So yeah, so like Tom goes through it.
goes through a
His
lot.
home gets burned to the ground.
Yeah, that already happened before the show even started.
Yeah. Um,
Then he sees his new home also get burnt to the ground.
and he witnesses a
He
murder.
witnesses a murder, and then he witnesses who knows how many soldiers get murdered also
Yeah.
as this coup happens.
yeah.
And he loses his mom on
Yeah.
Yeah, that
top
was
of all
really
this.
sad.
Yeah.
So like I felt bad for him. And
Yeah.
I thought the part where like we go from his face as he like takes it all in, and then we go to like older Tom's
Yeah.
face. I thought that was really
Yeah,
good because
yeah,
the
that was well
expressions were
done.
like the same.
Uh,
Like he's still haunted by all this stuff that happens when he was like 8 years old.
uh-huh. Like, and the whole Guardian thing just starts off as Catherine just trying to like make him feel better.
Is that how it starts out?
Yeah, no, he's like doesn't want to leave, and she's like, yeah, "I'll make you the guardian of the
Oh
eggs."
yeah, I thought that was really cute.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Although maybe slightly irresponsible because he's only 8.
Well, like
But it was
obviously, all the
cute.
adults
He
there
gave
knew
him
it wasn't a
Batman
real
syndrome. He
thing.
lost his
Yeah,
mom and
she makes up a
yeah.
title for him, and it is very cute. And then he looks very cute also, and he goes in the car and he like folds his arms like
Yeah.
I'm going to protect these eggs, and then I laugh because he's a cute boy.
I feel bad that he had to hide in the rafters and watch Vanilla and Constantine have their little couple spout. It's like so awkward.
He was probably being like, "Oh, I'm going to watch these two like
Like
get it
imagine
on,"
that's your expo.
but instead
I
they
hope he
murder somebody.
I hope he had some sort of like that's not a good exposure to the romantic world.
No, but it's sort of. I mean, in the world of gargoyles, it sort of is.
Uh,
There's a lot of evil couples in
oh,
that
you mean
show.
like the show
In the
Gargoyles,
show
not
Gargoyles.
like okay. Because I feel like maybe he would have gotten better educational standings from the non-gender conforming gargoyles he grew up with.
I feel like we see so many more evil couples on this show than good couples,
That's really
which is really
interesting.
funny.
Where's our evil gay couple? They're coming.
I mean, in future tense, we need like Lexington to have like acquired someone,
Well,
you
I'm
know,
pretty. Oh wait, I
some
think
beefy thing for
you
himself.
know. There's a lot of possibility. There's room for
All
potential
right, was that
there.
evil Lexington? Was that even actually Lexington, or was he like secretly not? I don't even remember
Yes,
anymore.
that was
That
Lexington.
was Lexington.
No, Lexington was secretly pretending to be Xanatos.
Right. I knew that someone was pretending to be somebody.
So,
Anyways,
Lady Finella and the myth of I can fix him.
oh my God,
Lady
you start us off. I have a lot to say, but you start
Okay,
us off.
well, like, I
So Lady Finella is actually providing us with a very messy and entertaining subplot.
she's pretty fun.
I guess she like represents that classic trope of the woman who thinks she can change the bad boy, and she's like engaged to the hunky, salty daddy king, but she's
But
sneaking
she's
around with
really
the
after,
trashy murderer
uh-huh.
because she thinks Constantine is blunt. No, honey, he's a
I would
sociopath.
like to point out she's not actually engaged. He asked her to marry him, and she
Oh,
hasn't given
all
him an
right.
Oh,
answer.
she had, okay, well, I didn't know that
I
from
would have
watching the episode.
again zero survival skills on her part.
Yeah,
Everything, they go by so quick with these scenes.
yeah. So
So
so basically, she says, "Well, he asked me to marry him," and he's like, "What did she say?" She's like, "Well," and doesn't answer.
Yeah. She's sort of really into his adopted son at the moment.
Yeah,
That's messy.
yeah.
that's yeah. So and it's like a lot of people accuse me of this like same like I can fix him dynamic regarding Wolf, but like comparing Wolf to Constantine is like comparing like like a coconut to an orange.
I agree. I
Yep.
fully agree.
Like there's a moral distinction there.
I did think it was really funny. So like after she's been throwing herself at Constantine for a while, and then he murders the king in front of her.
Oh, that's so funny.
After all that, he doesn't even like want to marry her after that. He asks Catherine to marry her, and Fenella like runs away from the crowd like in tears. I thought that was so fucking funny. I
When
was like, she
speaking of
has
that
done
scene,
everything right,
when
and she gets nothing
Constantine
out of it.
stabs the king and says, "Long live the king," he looks directly at the camera.
He does look directly at the
He breaks
camera.
the fourth wall just to give us a creepy stare down, and it's so unnecessary.
The way he was drawn in that scene, it made me think of the king from the Animaniacs movie. Just because
No, I
I thought
mean,
that they looked sort of
I guess
similar.
maybe, but one of them's like more effeminate and has eyeliner and eyeshadow, and like this one is just like, I guess like just I don't know. But then he's like you don't need to make eye contact with me in my living room to show me that you're the villain. Like
He really needed to sell it in case the kids at home weren't understanding what was happening.
just so goofy.
But at least if you don't follow all the political stuff, at least you can like if you're me, you can at least look at the screen and be like, well, okay, well at least I know that that guy's the bad guy. Like they're not making any secret of that. At least that helps me follow what's going on a little bit. Later on, I do like that Catherine and Fenella, like, they're not, like, we don't pit queens against each other. They were, like, on the same side for this.
Yeah.
So, like, they have a little meeting, the two of them, and Catherine says something really funny, which is, you risk too much to help me. And Fenella says, I do it more to hurt Constantine. And I was like, bitch, I love you now.
Best
She
possible
is
route.
so good.
Best possible route to
Uh-huh.
like end her.
And then
life.
she slips him some sleeping drug into his drink, and that
Oh,
allows
she slipped
everybody
him
to
a
escape.
roofie.
She gave him a Mickey.
Oh,
Yes, and that allows everybody to get out of there with the eggs. Because apparently up until this point, Constantine had been visiting Catherine every hour. They
oh
say
god.
every hour. And I was like, that's excessive.
Fuck.
That's
What a
crazy to
freak.
me.
Yeah, so that all happened.
And yeah, at the end, the magus has to give up his book of spells to enter Avalon, and then he gives it to Fenella. So she will have some sorceress power, perhaps, going forward. And that's all I have on her. I know you have more Huron, because this bitch
Oh, I have
is
so much
another
more.
real life historical person.
So most of the figures here I did research on. The problem is 90% of the characters in this have completely contradictory historical information on them because his story
Nice.
kept getting rewritten by whoever was in charge to make their ancestors look like the good guys. So
That's how history works.
yeah. So basically, all of this stuff could be what actually happened. We don't know, but she's particularly interesting. So the real life Fenella first appears in 14th century ballads.
Ooh.
So about
Okay.
13th century, so about 40 years
Hmm.
later. And up until that point, the death of King Kenneth has been stated to be a betrayal, but like there's no documentation stating who.
Uh-huh.
In the 14th century, suddenly it's being attributed to Fenella.
What? Oh,
So,
that's some bullshit. She did nothing wrong.
so now, take all this with a grain of salt because the ballad it's from may have been designed to prove why women aren't trustworthy. So,
Those women always betraying men, am I
But-
right?
Yeah,
But
men have
according
done
to
nothing
it,
wrong.
she was pissed at Kenneth because Kenneth murdered her son.
Oh!
But
Female vengeance.
because he was in an opposing army. Like
Okay.
it wasn't like a murder.
Oh, so like, yeah.
Kill. It was his fault.
That's still
killed.
pretty raw, though.
So she seduces him, tricks him into coming into the little hut.
That little hut.
Yeah, and then convinces him to check out this idol she's brought for him.
An idol.
Yes.
Okay.
So he goes and touches it, and it triggers a trap that sends a dozen crossbow
What the
bolts straight through
fuck?
him.
She was too good to use
What
a cross for
the
herself.
hell?
She planned an elaborate trap.
This is what the balance says. So, take everything with a grain of salt.
She had an Indiana Jones style trap instead.
From there, she was chased by uh, what's his face, the new king.
Constantine.
Yeah, Constantine, and was forced and jumped off of a waterfall and drowned in order to avoid being captured.
That's so hardcore.
Damn, good for her.
I'm still taking her side.
Yeah, I
It's
kind
just
of will
so
too.
cool.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on history's given women a bad rep, so I mean, hey.
Yeah. So who knows what actually happened, but like that is the story that gave inspiration to this version.
That's really cool. I like that they took elements of that, but like she's clearly like not really a bad person in this.
Yeah.
Like she might be like slightly power hungry, maybe. If she was, she'd be marrying the king though. She isn't even that power hungry.
I don't know.
She's just sort of living her life, and then this asshole fucks with her, and she's like, I'm gonna get back at him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help these cool people who I don't even know. She's sort of the best.
Yeah.
So Greg also spoke on her, and I need to read this quote off. Anyway, Constantine tricks Fenella and kills the king. We hear Fenella sobbing, just to prove that she was neither in on it nor that she would approve of it. Though, one wonders what her reaction would have been down the road if Constantine hadn't spurned her in favor of Catherine.
Yeah, because she was still upset when he didn't marry her.
Yeah.
And I was like, so, okay, so you would have married him, though? I mean, she's got to make the best of a bad circumstance, right?
Would she have adjusted to the crime, or did Constantine become an irredeemable villain in her eyes immediately? I hate to say it, but I tend to think it's the former.
I mean, it's complicated.
Actually, I don't hate to say it. She's much more interesting to write that way.
Yeah. When you're not, like... Because especially as a woman in the Middle Ages, like, you had to, like, get whatever power and security you could for yourself, because you're barred from so many other ways of doing that.
Yeah.
You sort of needed to attach yourself to a man, and Constantine, he was a powerful, maybe slightly stupid man, who she could have used, perhaps.
So, anyways, yes, that's what I wanted to discuss on her.
I love that. I was sort of standing her.
Yeah, no.
And I know that she is also... She's in the time dance story also, I want to say. I feel like when Brooklyn goes back in time, he...
Yes, that was the other thing I wanted to bring up. So, the continuity continues because both Mary and Fenella, once they leave at the end of the story, will next be seen at when Brooklyn, that wasn't what I was going for, but that works. When Brooklyn comes back in time, and we're going to the next Death of a King in about 20 years.
I know that, I think, does Constantine die and then, like, his son becomes the hunter or something?
Oh, actually, I do need to jump back for a moment because I forgot to bring all this up. So, the reason all of these characters, King Kenneth is the grandfather of both Macbeth.
What?
And of,
that explains where you got
Duncan.
Yes. Okay.
So, like, that's why they're both heirs to the throne.
Right. I love that for us.
Yes. So, also, the character who got cut, it was Bodhi's father, who's the father of Gruach. He's the big guy from City of Snow.
Yes, I remember Bodhi.
I vaguely remember.
And his beard looked like it was dyed at some point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he was hot.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up.
That's right. He's got some good genes, this Kenneth fellow, and other Scottish.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking he was kind of good looking.
So yes, that's how those were connected. What was I saying before? Oh, right. So once they come back, at the end of the comics, Mary and Fenella become Brooklyn's time-traveling companions.
What? They were with him for a while? Like Doctor Who style?
Yes, they're his first companions.
I don't remember that.
Well, because they join him at the very end of the arc, but then we never get to see.
Yeah, we never see more
location.
of it because the comic got canceled at the time.
Right. But
I didn't know he had companions.
So, yeah, they're his first pair of companions, and then later on, at some point, they'll leave to stay in the 1970s.
What?
Yes, because that's how the Arcanorum gets into Xanatos' hands.
Okay. So Fenella might still be alive,
Fenella is
and
still
she's
alive.
still alive
Yes, it's
For her.
in
confirmed.
modern day.
And Mary's also still alive in modern day.
Oh well, we need Tom to meet her again.
Um,
I didn't know any of that.
yes. So Fenella is a modern day character, but she has not that he's not yet pulled the trigger on whatever's
I
happening
bet
there.
she's in the fucking, she's in the Illuminati. I bet
We do know she is ties
she
to.
seems like an Illuminati
All we
person.
know is she is ties to Xanatos. So that's going to be very interesting whenever that pops up.
Oh my god,
There's something going on there.
I'm so happy right now. Gargoyles is it's such a complicated web that it weaves, but
God,
every so often it pays off in a really fun
it
way.
really is. Like all that's information. It's so interesting. Makes me think of like, cause like Greg's still telling the fucking
He's
story
still
too, and
telling
I
the
think he's
story.
always gonna be telling the story.
Yeah, he will because it's so big. He has endless stories he could do
Mm,
with it.
all right.
Uh,
Can't wait to see what he's gonna do. Anyways, yes, love that for her. Glad she's, still relevant in the plot. And
I love that.
the next thing I have is the Goliath and the fan service factor. So we are lacking in present day shirtless Goliath content in this episode, but we have to discuss the thickness of his legs from the clock tower scenes at the beginning of the episode.
He was looking
There is
good.
that one specific scene in the clock tower where he sits down for a moment. He is channeling Sharon Stone and Basic Instinct, but with more texture. I'm talking about those muscular lavender thighs
They,
as Elisa
mm,
is like talking to him. Actually, we see him sit down in the chair and like,
yeah,
he lifts his legs up and it's just like it's like he could be like a fucking stripper and it's like they're massive. They're so big. They're rippling, and it's like no wonder Wolf went so crazy over him. If I saw
his
thighs like
leg.
that, I would mutate myself into a wolf man just to have an excuse to bring Nicole with them.
I remember last ep, the two of you were really into Broadway sitting in that chair, and I was like, I don't see it. I don't really understand. This time, I saw Goliath sit there, and I was like, his bare ass is on that cushion.
I think
And I understood
I think
at
the
that
fandom
moment.
shares that picture around a lot because it's just funny because Goliath is obviously the sexualized one. I
Mhm.
So
love that.
Goliath gets another fan service moment in this episode too, despite barely being in it.
Yes, and I
Because the
think
moment they step off the boat at the end of the episode, he
He
just
puts his
oh
hands on his
yeah.
hips. I just wrote that he has to show Avalon how big his dick is immediately.
like poses.
Yeah, no, he looks like he's a big guy, you know?
I thought you were going to bring up that as soon as Tom meets Goliath, he's like ogling Goliath's chest, and
Yes,
he
just
also has
as
to like
glorious as I
touch
remember
him
it.
and take him by the arm. Like everyone needs to always be touching Goliath for some reason. At least if you're a man, you need to be touching Goliath.
Like I said, man.
Very funny that Elisa doesn't really do that.
She does sometimes.
Right, sometimes, but like when they first met, she didn't like try to touch him or
Yeah,
anything.
just she was scared.
Like,
Yeah, but no, you're right.
does it?
Yeah, like it's like a dominance play with them, and Elisa doesn't need to like assert dominance. She just knows already that she is the dominant one.
Okay.
She doesn't need to like physicalize it.
I like how the switch in like Goliath's personality set in, like, because it's not just physical thirsting. I mean, like the moment he hears the eggs are still alive, like
Um,
he stops, like,
Daddy mode,
he goes from step on me to father figure.
very true.
Protective Papa Gargoyle mode, PPGM.
Uh,
But yeah, we didn't get a lot of that this episode, so just like appreciate it while you can.
We're gonna see. I think Goliath's gonna be a lot hotter next episode, if I remember right. I seem to remember him like fighting sand in kinky ways,
yeah,
or maybe that might be part three. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
I
I
think
am fully
that's part two.
waiting for it.
We will get a lot of fan service next episode, though.
Well, since we talked about Goliath, do we have any more to say about him?
Not particularly.
Let's talk about
No.
Elisa real quick, because I think Elisa made me laugh more than anyone else in this episode. So, first of all, when we first see her in the police station, I don't know if you two caught this, but she's typing on a computer,
Yeah.
and the screen is completely blank. Yeah. Okay, so we all noticed this.
Just
Yeah.
like she's acting like she's like doing stuff.
Yeah, she hasn't bothered to turn her computer on. She's just like, yeah, I'm working. Uh-huh. Yeah, get me a latte, please. Thanks. I have to put in these crime reports, and they're just like, you're not even doing anything. When Tom is getting them all onto the boat in Central Park, she does ask, and go where? The other side of the lake? Which always makes me laugh a lot, because it's like, what are we doing right now?
Yeah, like this is a lake inside of a park. It doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't go anywhere. The number one laugh out loud moment for me is so like the she asks Tom when they're on the boat. She says, "If you're from July's time, then how are you here?" He tells this in this long, involved flashback story. At the end of it, everyone's like crying, but then she has to say, "I still don't understand how you could have lived back then and still be here." She asked one question, and he didn't answer it in all of them, and he still doesn't.
I've never dealt with that before.
She's like, that's a really sad story, but can you please actually explain this? Oh my god.
Man, have I ever told you how much Elisa reminds me of you?
She's a she's smart, she's quick,
Yeah.
she has a strong moral
She's
center.
funny,
She
she's
is
dorky, and on top of all that.
and she doesn't like when she asks a question and is not answered. She wants to know. I
Uh,
appreciate that about her so much.
I like when she like reacted to like Morgan saying that like the guy was looking for Goliath and she had that like
Mm.
really surprised chipmunk look on her face.
But she doesn't give anything away though. She's
No,
so
I
and
good.
before
know.
that, she gives the whole "these guys should form a club"
Uh-huh.
line.
Yeah, I
Like she's
know.
such a good human ally. Like I would trust my identity with Elisa. I don't think she'd fuck it up.
Um, but okay, speaking of the boat, I do want to just discuss the book. Boat looks super cool.
It looks sort of like almost Viking-y a
Yeah,
little
Yeah.
bit, Or like Celtic, which makes sense given
yeah.
that they're on their way to Avalon.
hmm
So I have a lot to say about Avalon.
I have one quick thing to say about the magic of Avalon.
Please tell us.
So you remember the phrase he says to make Avalon appear?
Yes, I wrote it down.
Cool. It is completely butchered Latin that makes no
I
sense.
did I did Google Translate it, so he and the magus both say the same spell to
That's
arrive at
great. I
Avalon.
love that.
And according to Google Translate, at least, it's something along the lines of I call upon the winds of Oberon and steer the ship of grain to the shores of Avalon.
So I tracked down someone who translated it that actually spoke Latin,
Uh-huh.
and they said
You
what
wait, who did you ask?
on Reddit. I found a. I went on the translation Reddit and searched, and there was
Oh
a
my
post
god.
from someone asking what this phrase actually meant.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Anyways, according to them, what it is probably supposed to translate as is call the wind of fortune from King Oberon and navigate the ship to the shore of Avalon.
Okay, yeah.
That makes sense. Well, what does it actually translate to?
Complete gibberish.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't translate because it's all grammatically incorrect.
Well, I'm glad that not everything is like technically calculated out because like sometimes I get so overwhelmed by like why everything means something. It's just like can we just like have something to be cool?
And it is very cool.
So it is.
I loved all the magic stuff in this episode.
Yeah.
Let me go in on Avalon for a little while. So, Avalon, as we know, is the island where a dying King Arthur was brought to after being fatally wounded by his son Mordred at the Battle of Canlin. Nine queens showed up in a boat, like you do, and they were like, "All right, we'll take Arthur off of your hands. We'll bring him to Avalon where he'll rest." And, maybe if you're all very, very good, he'll show up again one day and save England in its darkest hour. But first, you need to throw that sword, Excalibur, you need to throw that into the ocean for reasons. So after all that, they do so. Um, by the way, if you're looking for like a really good book about the return of Arthur, Perilous Times by Thomas D. Lee. It's like one of the best books I've ever read. It's sort of recent. I think it came out in 2023, but like it's really good. It has day nights in it, and the reason that they come back is they have to fight climate change, which is not a battle you can win with a sword. They have to like rally the actual people of England. And like they basically have to start like a new political party, and they also need to engage in a little light eco-terrorism. It's a really good book.
Sounds good.
Well, also Camelot 3000, which is a DC comic from the 80s, another great telling of Arthur coming back in like the future and like sort of like save he has to save the world from like an alien invasion. That's also a really good story. It's only like 12 issues.
Only
Um
12. Okay.
but we're dealing with the Avalon and Gargoyles, which operates by its own rules. So I liked that to get there. Apparently you can reach it through any body of water, which I thought was very, very interesting. All you need is this incantation and you can get there. So that's how they could get there from Central Park. And this Avalon in Gargoyles is apparently the property of Oberon, which is not like exactly Arthurian canon, but it's like not too far off from stuff that we like. We've seen so many versions of the story. It's fine that Oberon owns the island in this case. In fact, there's another cartoon version of the King Arthur legend, which is just called Camelot, which showcases Arthur as having been raised in Avalon, and is also shown to be the realm of the fairies in that story. I'm only mentioning it because this cartoon was written by Peter S. Beagle, who wrote The Last Unicorn. So I just thought it was really, really good. It's only an hour long, and in order to squeeze all of the story into this hour, Peter S. Beagle basically makes the characters all talk really, really fast, like little chipmunks in order to squeeze. I was amazed at how much story was in this hour. He included like the adultery of like Arthur and Lancelot and Guinevere. I was like, I didn't think this would even be here because this is like a kid's version of the story. He put as much in as he could, and the characters are just they never shut up because they need to keep conveying information the whole time. And it made me laugh. Anyway, this Avalon is guarded by the Weird Sisters, who I love every time they show up. They become really tall in this episode because they're using their magic, and they also become owls, who are also associated with the supernatural, with the occult,
Hmm.
which with witchcraft, with the moon. Who these three sisters are all named after different phases of the moon, of after moon goddesses. So it makes sense. And of course, owls are also associated with the goddess Athena from Greek legend.
So, and while Greg always wanted to use Avalon, prior to when they were starting the writing, he's like, well, I should use something that's Scottish, not, proper
Right.
Scottish. She's like, how about I try and use Brigadoon?
Brigadoon would also fit really well. Because isn't that something where people sleep and come back later on?
Yeah, so
Or something
it's the
like that?
village that vanishes and only
And it
reappears once every hundred
reappears.
years.
That's the same thing that Tom goes through.
Right, so that's where that part of it comes from because it's from Brigadoon.
Yeah.
So did have them research it and found out that it was still under copyright. It wasn't in the public domain.
Brigadoon is under copyright?
Right, because it was only created in the 1940s.
Oh, I thought it was older than that.
Everyone thinks it's older
Oh,
than that.
because it seems like it is. Oh, that's so interesting.
But no, like Brigadoon, of course, has been referenced on shows like Deep Space Nine, on what was the Robin Hood show we just watched? Oh my god,
Robin
sorry.
of Sherwood.
Yeah, Robin of Sherwood. Quite famous, but it turns out it is the reason no one ever references it by name is because it's copyrighted.
That's really funny. So I did do a little digging. I found a few other things, at least like the story reminded me of. So because in going to Avalon, they're entering the realm of fairy, where things work a little bit differently. There's a time dilation thing happening. So I think Tom says that for every hour spent on Avalon is a full day in the rest of the world, the mortal world.
Yep.
Uh, and that did remind me of a few stories that I've read, notably Tamlin, where a man goes to fairy, and the queen sort of like keeps him as her pet. And when he goes back to the mortal world, like a lot more time has passed than he had expected, and like all of his friends and loved ones are like old. So I thought that was sort of interesting. I've read it. There's a really good prose adaptation of the story, uh, by Ellen Kushner, which is
Oh
called
my
Thomas the
god.
Rhymer. Do you know Ellen Kushner?
Yeah, Swords Point and the Privilege of
You've
the
read
Sword.
Swords
I
Point?
didn't finish it. I didn't finish
Sword
it.
Swords Point is one of the best books I've ever fucking read. It was so good. And it's really gay.
I need to finish it still.
I feel like I was reading Swords Point while you were living with us because I got
I
into
didn't
it
know
just a
that.
couple of years ago, and I
Yeah.
really fucking liked
No,
it.
I knew about Swords Point while I was living here.
Oh my gosh!
I have a bad habit of starting books and not finishing them
But
because I
yeah,
lose focus.
Ellen Kushner is a great author. I like her
She's iconic.
is like her sentences are very poetic, and I really like that about her.
Hmm.
And for a bit of folklore that's a bit closer to home, it's also sort of reminded me of Rip Van Winkle about the old man who falls
Ooh.
asleep
I
and 20
reference that
years go by.
sometimes. I sometimes when I I sleep in during the day, I call myself Sid Van Winkle. To my online friends, but
That's so cute.
yeah, I remember reading that book as a kid and it like freaked me out about how he just he just literally took a nap for like 20 years and then came
Yeah,
back and like his wife was dead and
like
like his daughter was grown up.
what if we fell asleep and 20 years went by? That would be crazy.
I hope
So
I'm still hot in 20
you
years.
you mentioned the 24-year 1 day for every hour thing.
Yeah,
So I decided I'm like I'll just take 1,000 years and divide it by 24 and see how much time has passed.
sure.
About 42 years. So yeah, he's about 50.
Okay, we can extrapolate.
Oh, so he's a
I
DILF.
love that the
He's
math
reached DILF
works out.
status.
I love that. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not sure if I caught this correctly. Did he say that like every 100 years or so he comes back for a visit to see if
Yes.
Goliath has woken up yet?
Yep.
So do we know about any of these other trips he's taken?
I don't.
I
No.
feel
As
like
far as
these
I
are all
know,
potential story hooks that Greg can just do whenever he wants.
yeah.
There's a lot of building ground Greg's got for
Yeah,
himself.
I thought that was also very interesting because I didn't remember that part. I was like, wait, what? I've always thought the magic in this show is just so good, the way that they do it, and it feels like it takes so much from like real mythic sources that I always get really into it. I know there's going to be
Yeah.
more of that coming next episode, so I'm
There's
looking
plenty of
forward to our
magic
our
to go around.
problematic monarchs who are going to show up.
I'm just like, yeah, while I do mourn the lack of muscles, I will say there's going to be a lot of like spectacle coming up.
We're gonna get some muscles. We're gonna have what's his face?
Yeah, I have notes about that.
Coldstone's kid.
I forgot he was cold. Yeah, I guess yeah,
Gabriel's
Gabriel.
gonna be in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to talk about Gabriel because like I appreciate
Okay.
the design choice. Have because having more muscle in the show is always a plus.
Oh yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest, I'm still, gosh, I have a bit of a vendetta, you could say.
Vendetta.
It's like
Like
I'm forever salty that Gabriel got an action figure first.
he got an action figure?
Yeah, I think he was
He's
supposed to
such a
be.
minor
He was supposed
character.
to be in the next lineup for the. I don't
That's
think they're
so
still doing those
interesting.
Hasbro ones,
Yeah.
or was it Hasbro?
I
NECA.
NECA, I
Oh,
think.
but he was trying to get one of those action figures?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, him. And I think I forget what the
But
status
Wolf
is.
isn't. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, I get why they would do it because his body could
They already have the mold, I
they could
guess.
recycle the molds.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but I'm just saying, I feel like gay werewolves can be very marketable these
I feel
days.
like Gabriel would be very low on my list of
Yeah,
characters to make
literally
a NECA
though.
figure of.
Yeah.
And I do like him as a character, but like he needs to do more things first.
Yeah.
And I would like to see him do those things.
Yeah, I don't think NECA is still doing
Yeah, I
the
think maybe
figures.
I know there's another line that's been coming out. There's so much Gargoyles merch these days.
I
It's
want to
really
get
cool.
more Gargoyles content in general.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about other cameos in this episode that
Oh,
we
I have a
didn't
whole list.
mention. Okay, well first I have Brendan and
Of
Margot showing,
course.
of
Oh
course.
yeah,
They're
and
the
they
first
were
on
in the
my list.
same like alley or street as like the guys who tried to jump them
Yeah,
and
I guess they still go by that neighborhood, and they're walking this
they're
time. They're
like, oh yeah, it's a couple we tried to like jump and like the
I mean, they're right there. I just didn't see each other. I don't know.
So yeah, like Brendan and Margot have to show up in every multi-part episode.
It's
It
important.
is a rule according to Greg.
Okay,
I
that's
guess
that's good.
So that's
because
just
Good.
where you could fit them in.
I like that they see Tom and they sort of like smile at him. Like I guess they think he's just
He's
like
funny.
he's doing like a modern art piece
I
or
mean, it's New
something because it's New
York.
York City.
Like people walk around in
Yeah,
weird
so you
outfits all the
so you're
time.
just like, oh, look at this guy. They're just having a nice night out with each other. They're not fighting for once, which I did enjoy.
What the So, of course, after that, we've Lawrence, Maurice, and Curly. We already
Yes,
discussed
our
them.
three hot
Morgan.
goons.
The
Yeah.
next cameo is Belvedere Castle.
Have we been to That was when
Yes,
they were all chained by Demona, right?
by
Was that
Demona and
Belvedere
Macbeth,
Castle? Yeah,
which
it's a location.
specifically chose that location to remind people of Demona and Macbeth because they were going to be important to the three-parter.
It didn't work. I was not reminded of them. I was reminded of Spider-Man PlayStation 4 because we
Oh
go to
yes.
Belvedere Castle in that game to do things.
But yes. So like that was just supposed to be a subtle hint that they were going to be reappearing.
Great.
To subconsciously clue people in.
Well, I mean, to me, it seemed like they went there just to, like sort of. They didn't know that Tom was a time traveler yet, but I guess they were like, "He's a knight. Let's go to this castle." I don't know. It seemed to make some sort of sense in my
Yes.
mind as just going based on vibes.
Yeah, like I get why they chose to meet there. It's isolated.
Also, how the fuck did Elisa get Tom out of his holding cell? She just said that she knew his family. Is
She,
that all it takes?
my guess is
What is this?
what she. Well, first of all, what did he do legally?
He, I
No
think
one was going to
having
press charges against
using a
him.
sword against people is not allowed.
Yeah, but like if the thugs aren't going to press charges, like who can prove he
I don't
actually
think
used a
they're smart
sword?
enough or have the resources to press charges.
Also, if they tried to press charges, he immediately point out that they were trying to mug him. So obviously they just
They weren't trying to mug him. They were trying to have
They were
sexual relations
they
with
were
him
trying
by
to take his
removing his
clothes
armor.
off.
Yeah,
regardless, like I'm sure what she did was she went up to Officer Chavez and was
yeah,
like,
Captain
"Hey, I know
Chavez.
this guy.
I know this
He's off his
guy.
meds right now.
He's off his meds.
I will get him back to his family back to his meds. Can you please let me handle this? And I swear he will
Aw.
never be back here again." She's like, "Oh, all right. If you
Alright, Lisa.
promise, then I will let you take care of him
You're taking responsibility.
because it's not like anyone else is pressing charges, so we don't actually have any right to hold him past 24 hours. So take him."
I like that.
That is my take on how she did it.
And then I have one final cameo. We see the Stone of Destiny
Yes.
once again, because it is, as we know, the kings of Scotland are throned or take the throne with the Stone of
Except it's not
Destiny
actually drawn in the
as
scene.
part of their throne or something.
Yeah.
They mentioned it in dialogue,
They
and
mentioned it in
that's what
dialogue,
matters.
but yeah, the art team, in order to get this episode out on time, they had to cut a few sets, and one of them was the place where he's supposed to be crowned. So
Yeah.
they used a background from earlier in the episode, so the stone's not actually there.
Yes, but previously, of course, we saw this in the episode where Macbeth became king,
Yes.
and we will see it again in the comic.
Yep.
And as we learn, that has been many stones throughout history,
Oh my
including the
God.
stone where Excalibur was kept.
Mhm.
That's the end of my notes.
I mean, I was gonna
But we do have a few
bring
other
up
things
one
to
more
discuss.
cameo, I suppose.
Oh, there's another one?
Well, we didn't mention, but Boudica shows up for a few scant seconds at the end.
Is she the other dog?
Yes.
Okay, the Garbeast.
Yes.
Yeah, we see some silhouettes
Oh.
at the very
Well,
end after
we
they
see
get to
Angela,
Avalon.
Gabrielle, and Boudica.
Oh, I forgot
Boudica.
about her.
I did as well. She's sort of like brought to me is that I just
I
forget
was
that she
too busy
exists most of
dishing
the
on
time.
Gabriel for getting a toy first. I don't even think Coldstone got a toy, did he?
I don't
I
know.
believe he did.
I feel like he
Okay,
would
yeah,
have because
he
he's like
did.
half robot and kids like that shit.
Oh, well, kids like werewolves too. I
They
don't
sure do. Especially gay kids from Florida.
Yeah, we do. Sorry, Wyatt.
I don't know. What was I
Anyways, the
saying?
only thing I have is my little like my rubric at the end. Well, actually, I added a new thing onto my rubric.
All right, which one are we doing
Ooh.
first?
Well, first I'd like to just go over the gayest character. Who is the gayest character?
Tom.
Okay.
How about the rest of you?
I mean,
I'd
Tom
like
was feeling up Goliath's arm.
yeah.
I'd
And
like
was
you guys to dissect your choices, and then I'll tell you mine.
okay.
Okay.
He was undressing Goliath with his eyes, except he didn't need to, because Goliath's already mostly naked. He was piercing holes in his chest with his eye beams,
And the fact that
his
he's wearing like
nipples.
a helmet that's like
He
Goliath.
wears a helmet that looks like Goliath.
Like he's got Goliath
It would have been
memorabilia
so funny if
that
he was like,
Wolf
"Hey
would be
Goliath,
jealous
look,
of.
I'm you," and then Goliath would be even more fucking confused. uh, I mean that's basically it. That's my that's my reasoning.
Huron.
Oh, and
Um,
of course the thugs are also gay with each other.
Well, don't.
Oh, never mind. I didn't mention
okay, well, I've got a different answer, anyways.
Good.
Mary.
the
Mary.
mommy.
Yeah, she's like, decides to go run off and live a life with
Yeah,
Fenella.
sorry, son. I had to go for your protection,
I never
not to
realized.
go down in this hot woman's pussy. For my-
So I just need to mention that.
That did sort of occur to me too, but I didn't write it
She
down.
left. She abandoned motherhood for the love of
Oh,
lesbianism.
what a strong, powerful woman.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll give this title to the thug with the chain, who's apparently his name is Lawrence, and I had no
He's
idea.
so good.
Tom was like, he's got the mask and the backstory, but my attention is entirely monopolized by this nameless street trash. There is something profoundly queer about its aesthetic. The tight tank top and accessorizing the industrial hardware with the chains, and he's
Hmm.
walking around Central Park looking for trouble and dicks to suck.
I mean, he looks like a day hustler. Yeah.
While Tom is serving the high fantasy drag, the thug is serving West Village leather bar at 2 a.m. Which is the only visual eye candy that's like keeping me awake right now.
Yeah, he sort of had to do a lot of heavy lifting for this one.
So that's my choice. What is your guys' choice for the most risque moment or horniest moment?
So I have two for mine. I have just Goliath sitting down. I thought looked
Yeah.
great. And then when Thug number three, who
Oh,
is Lawrence, when he fell and we just see his bubble butt.
guess what? What do you have here on?
Same. I got nothing more to
Okay,
contribute.
so yeah, the most risque moment for me is the beatdown in the alleyway. We have three
Nice.
leather-clad punks trying to jump a masked man in tight armor. The
Mm,
choreography, watching the chain thug flex his massive arms only to get dominated by a superior alpha male,
not the
kind of
first time for
charged.
them.
It looked less like a fight and more looked like he was looking for a way to develop a fetish for getting pounded on by big muscular men. It was violent, it was sweaty, and it was humiliating for him in a way that I personally found compelling.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to, and you know what? Actually, never mind. I'm not gonna read that because I forgot he gets arrested next. I was thinking of the original where we just left him in the alley. I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh,
they just left him in the alley
I
the
wonder
first
what happened to
time.
his
Like
vulnerable muscular
on yeah,
body.
like on top of each other. It
Yeah,
was very
naked.
it
And
was
like Goliath
very
stripped them
weird.
naked and laid them down on top of each other in like a ritualistic pattern.
Yeah,
So
because
anybody who
That's
found
what
them
Goliath
the
used to do
next
in the
morning would
past.
think they're like gay ritualistic
Yeah, they're
freaks.
just day freaks in an alleyway.
For an honorable mention on risque moments, I'm gonna, segue back to the sword scene with Officer Morgan. It's a very subtle moment of physical shaming. Morgan tries to handle Tom's weapon and then fails because of the girth and weight,
Yeah.
and
The
you
dick
know,
is too big for
yeah,
me.
yeah. Um, so before we get to episode rating, I guess we could get into episode rating first before I get into what I think is the wolf-coated moment of the week.
Okay, we're adding a category, the wolf-coated moments.
Yeah, and that's a category that, I can just do. You
I
guys don't have to
approve of
worry
that so
about it.
much. I
Um,
appreciate that.
I would say that the wolf-coated moment is the thug getting knocked out, which is the clear winner because he's kind of like a spiritual successor to Wolf because he's big and he's beefy and he's showing off
Mm.
muscular arms and
But secretly he
has
wants to
an
be
unearned
dominated.
sense of confidence, and most importantly, he gets humiliated in an alleyway by a superior male,
Yeah, when it
which is
happened, I almost sent you a message of me like, another one has just been dumped in an alleyway. Here's another one for you.
it's just classic Wolf behavior getting knocked out in an alleyway. Wolf spends half his screen time getting knocked out by Goliath, so
Yeah,
watching this
just
nameless hunk
in
try to step up to
dumpsters.
Tom, who is wearing Goliath's face, and immediately get folded, it felt like watching a Wolf variant getting his own origin story.
It's hot that it's like Goliath's voice actor being
Yeah.
like getting
So that's
dominated.
interesting. So, got the look, got the attitude, now he's got the concussion. Another muscle-bound loser looking for glory holes, finding a fist instead. Um,
He got fisted
yeah,
instead.
so anyways, that's my 2 cents, and that's why he's gonna be my choice of wolf coated for the week.
Nice.
We already talked about Avalon Part 2, so I already went over my notes on that.
I can't wait for that one.
Except for the Archmage. Obviously, he's a much bigger threat now than when we last saw him, but I'm stuck thinking about that weird blow dart animation from back in season one
I
in
hope
The
he
Long Way
keeps
to
that.
Morning.
I hope he uses that again.
Such a bizarre, distinct little movement. I'm hoping that it comes up again now that he's like more
It's like
powerful.
his little trumpet that he
Like he's
has.
gonna
Like
he's gonna
toot.
he's gonna just toot on the shores of Avalon
Yeah, because
with
he's
his
going to
little
become like
blow
an
dart.
all-powerful sorcerer, but it's funny if he just still uses
Now
a
his
blow
blow
dart
darts are even more
also.
powerful, and he's gonna
Yeah.
shoot everybody with blow
He's gonna
darts.
be blowing
He's
men
like a
so hard they
blowfish.
won't even know what happened
He's like a
afterwards.
He's going to
blowfish.
become the Archmage Plus.
Plus the Archmage SSR
Well, in the script, he's called Archmage Plus to
in
distinguish
the
him from
script.
because there's two of
Oh,
them at the
There
same
are two of
time,
them.
so
There's
they
the
have
young
to
and the
script
old.
them.
I forgot about
That's good
that.
that they find a way to yeah,
I
to
just
do
thought that was
that.
hilarious.
So that's all I got.
I love that. I hope there's more
Oh,
wolf
wait,
moments next time.
okay, so I'm giving this episode a 2.5 out of 5 Loincloths.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a little bit higher.
Oh, maybe 3.
Hmm.
But it's just like I mean like I feel like I really like the episodes that I mean like yes, the story here is beautifully textured and richly colorful. But I just was looking for more I guess less on the Scottish politics and the flashbacks and the long backstories and the I don't know, just sometimes it can be a little overstimulating for me.
There was a lot to keep track of, and they named off so
Yeah,
many people so
yeah.
fast.
Like I guess because like some of it I mean it's good. I'll probably just bump it to 3. I originally wrote down 2.5, but yeah, it seems like you guys got more out of this one than I did because most of my notes are just trying to like find a wolf comparison desperately.
Yeah, I
It's-
mean, I thought it was pretty good. I think I have it as a 4,
I also
just
have it
because I
as
thought it
4.
was very solid. But now I'm thinking
Jeez.
back to like other 4s, and I'm like, does it measure up to them? So it might be like a
Oh, I'm
3.75.
bringing it down
Let
for
me-
you
Well, like
guys.
I forgot
I'm
how much Scottish
thinking of
politics was in it, but like at the time, because I had completely forgotten that this entire subplot was even in the episode, I was feeling more like, oh, this is like new material for
I
me
guess what
that I
fascinates me in
new
gargoyles
stuff.
is not just like I liked touching upon the old stuff, I guess, more than I do exploring new stuff.
Hmm.
But I mean, I don't mind the new stuff at the same time.
Like I know when I think of the Avalon three-parter, I think a lot more of like the magic and like the gargoyles all hanging out on the island itself. I
Yeah.
forgot that it took a whole episode to even get there.
I did expect this only to be half an episode, I will admit. Like I
Uh-huh.
thought we were gonna get to the episode the island halfway through.
Yeah.
But I do just really enjoy this episode. I love all the Scottish politics. That's my jam. So I'm just giving it a
We
solid
love
4.
Lady Fenella. We're
Okay,
obsessed with her.
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with liking
Like,
it. I mean, if that's your jam, Holmes,
yep.
then
Home
there you
fry.
go. Home fry. Just because I ordered home fries this like afternoon and you kept saying that.
Home fry. Because I remember
Yeah.
back in the day we used to call that to each other.
If it had
I don't
like
know if the kids do that anymore.
if it had like more muscles, I'd probably give it like a higher rating.
Yeah, we need more muscles next
And I
time.
appreciate the reach of trying to compare Constantine to that King and Animaniacs, but that King and Animaniacs
They
was
just make the same sort of face a lot.
in drag. Well, I mean, the king from Animaniacs looks like Clayton from Tarzan and drag in like
Yeah.
a crown, and I don't know. I guess like I like that about him. Constantine doesn't remind me of that as much.
I fully understand.
But you have okay. I see. I see how it is. All right. Well, that's all I have to say. Did we want to touch upon anything else before we close off and revisit
I
for
think
Avalon 2?
I think we should read out some emails.
Oh,
Or
you're so
if we
right.
have any, I have
No,
not
we
actually
do. We
checked.
do.
Okay, cool. So we have a number of emails. The first one I will read. This was actually sent to us quite a while ago. I think we either missed it the first time or it's just been a while since we had an episode. But it was from
Yeah.
Autistic Animation, who I know has emailed us before. And he's a fan. He says, "Hello, Loincloth Hour. I have a bit of a dilemma, and I'm hoping you could help me out. In my few years of being a Gargoyles fan, I've noticed that the majority of the fandom are older adults, while I seem to be the only young adult in the fandom who's in their 20s. I want to introduce Gargoyles to people who are my age, but my main concern is that they won't give it a shot because a lot of young people don't like Disney since it became a monstrous corporation. How do I convince them to watch Gargoyles despite the horrific company that produced it? Thank you for your time." This is a very interesting question, and one I
Yeah.
have also struggled with
Yeah.
myself.
I mean, considering I'm a Gargoyles fan in their 20s.
Yes, and also, okay, let's address that part at least. If you want to meet more young Gargoyles fan, come to the Loincloth Hour Discord
Yeah.
because there's a lot of young people in their 20s who love Gargoyles and other pieces of animation, and it's all Sid's work. Sid runs it. Sid is such a good community leader over there that like if you are in your 20s or even if you're any age at all, come to the Discord.
Any age, as long as it's above 20 or 19. I feel like 19 is still an iffy
Yes,
cutoff.
if you're 18 and up,
If you're 18 and up,
if you're mature,
yeah,
if you're
if you're mature
you
and
get what we're trying to say.
you're respectful to the community,
Yes.
then I shall offer you the grace and the digital home of the Loincloth server. However, if there's friction or tension, I'm usually like the go-to when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So
uh
we don't like
we
drama.
don't like drama.
No, even though we talk about a lot of it, it's all fictional drama.
We prefer
We
fictional
prefer
drama.
fictional drama, or historical drama. Um,
So yeah, so that part,
I will say I've like also had like issues kind of like finding people outside the Loincloth Hour fandom. I mean like because when I was growing up, I tried to introduce gargoyles to like, my IRL friends, but I don't think they retained it as much as I did. And I think it's really just like you have to have the right kind of mindset for a show like Gargoyles. It's a show that challenges you and makes you think, but also offers you a great and broad creative landscape to like oversee because of the richly textured world that Greg has put together
mhm.
for the past 30, 40 years now. I don't know. It's a lot and there's a lot of ground to break down and not everybody's gonna it's like getting someone into Star Trek a little bit, maybe, because like
Mm.
they have to have the right aesthetic and it's
Yeah, you need to
honestly
have like a baseline level of maturity, I guess, to watch a show,
there,
especially Star Trek, where it's mostly just people talking.
right. And there's also such an umbrella when it comes to approaching the show of Gargoyles, because I feel like a lot of people who like superheroes get into that show.
Mm.
A lot of people like comics get into that show. But then it's like there's people like me. I literally got into it because like I guess because I was looking for um I guess maybe like a more like mature show. Like I
Yeah.
was I was a youth seeking maturity in the right places and that show was actually such a good like, stable building ground for me. I guess it just depends
Mhm.
on like the
And
personality,
and
long
it's
story
such a
short.
great like gateway to so many things. Like they get you in with like the fun action scenes and like the cool characters, but like I got into Shakespeare because of Gargoyles. Like I got into like lots of magic stuff because
Yeah.
I thought the magic in Gargoyles is really neat. Like I got into so many
Yeah.
different like myths and legends. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's really fun in that way. But like I think what autistic animation is asking is like, how do people who really don't like modern Disney and the things that they
Oh,
fund
well, you just have to
and the
tell
effect that
them
they have on the animation industry in general, like how do you get them
you
to
have
check
to
out this older Disney show?
you have to tell them to give Gargoyles the love that Disney refuses to give it.
That is also true. Disney has basically ignored it.
Yeah,
And actually
yeah,
they it seemed like at times that they were trying to kill it, especially when they like wouldn't
yeah,
renew the comic license for Greg for so many years because
yeah.
they raised their fees. That
Mm-hmm.
was honestly
You have to
crazy.
like iterate that it's not necessarily a Disney product as much as it is Disney is the one that gave this product the elevation it needed in its heyday. But really, it's a Greg creation, and it's still kind of like, the way I see it, if Greg isn't involved, then it's not necessarily gargoyles now, is it?
Yeah, like the Goliath
Yeah,
Chronicles.
so you just gotta convince people who like are turned off at the thought of watching a Disney show. Like Disney abandoned the show, and it's fantastic. It is better than anything else they've brought out in modern times. It aired in the 90s. It was really like hard to, keep up with as time went on because it got canceled and kicked to the curb by Disney. We need to give it the love Disney does not give it, is my answer to that.
And I guess I would add on, like, if you're not comfortable, say, like, paying for Gargoyles, like, if you don't want to have a Disney Plus account, for instance, to watch it, like, you there are ways to watch Gargoyles without giving Disney any money, and that's totally fine, in my opinion. Disney already has plenty of money.
And I mean, even if you don't want to look into the sort of methods most people think of, check your local library. There are DVDs. You might be able
Yeah,
to find them to borrow without having to even go through anything sketchy.
that's very true. Like I remember when we were staying with some friends of yours, Huron, they like we started watching Gargoyles. They had never seen the show before, and immediately they were like, "Is this going to be like a pro cop show?" Because Elisa's a police officer, and
Oh
we
my
had to be like,
gosh.
basically, yes, like it is pro cop many times.
Yeah.
However, like that is something that we also have issues with, but like the rest of the show, we feel is like strong enough that we can overlook
Yes.
that while
Yes.
still being aware that it is like at times a problem.
Yeah.
And like I would say the same, like we all know that Disney fucking sucks. Disney has there's a lot of issues, and it's one of those cases where they own so many things. It can actually be difficult to like to take in media without watching something owned by Disney, like even accidentally.
Right.
So like it's something that we're all sort of navigating with. I guess I would just tell them like, yeah, it does suck it's made by Disney, but it's still a really good show. And try just to be like, I don't know, just I guess just try to help them sort through that as well. It's some like I said, it's something that
I
I've
mean,
also
we
struggled
can give
with.
an educated answer, but we can't. I don't know if we have an
I mean, well,
ultimate
there is
answer.
no like, there's no
There's
perfect
no
answer to this
ultimate
that will
answer,
solve this
but
question. It's
hopefully
just
our thoughts and
everyone,
words.
yeah, everyone has their own like morals and
Yeah.
ethics that they have to navigate through life with. And I mean, I will say that I don't think watching an old 90s cartoon is like that. I don't think that's going to send you to hell for doing this. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Like, we can enjoy our little treats for ourselves. And also, I feel like the message of the show is so good, like so regularly that like I do think it's nice. It's nice to watch. I don't. It definitely doesn't espouse any of Disney's business values that they do. So yeah,
All right. Wow. Thank you for the great
yeah, that's a
question,
really good question. I'm really
autistic
glad that you
animation.
asked that.
Greatly appreciated. I'll let you read the other one too if you want.
Okay. So the other one is from Aqua Raccoon, who is a member of the Loincloth Hour Discord, friend of the show. He says, "Hello there. I'm just interested that that you all finally reached the Avalon World Tour of this series. Even if some episodes can be boring," he says. But since we're going on the topic on the question, if you'd had to live in Avalon as a gargoyle, what would you do? Hmm. Glad to see you all coming back as I descend into the trash can. See you soon. And then he has like a funny little emoji face. What would I do if I was living on Avalon as a gargoyle? Well, I'd probably be fucking Gabriel. I would
um,
probably,
that's
I'd probably
fair.
be spanking Gabriel. I'd be coming with fun little bets. Like, I bet I can fly to the end of the island faster than you, and loser gets spanked. That's what I'd
Ooh,
be doing. What would you be doing, Sid?
wait for it. Gay anal sex.
Gay anal sex.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say. All right.
Oh,
Well,
about you?
all right. So I've been thinking about this one for a bit because I was like trying to come up with, a serious answer.
My answer was serious, by the way. It was serious.
Uh huh. Um,
I'd be a hot gargoyle too.
Okay,
But
sucks.
I think I would end up being a smith.
A smith.
Like
You'd
Mr. and Mrs.
forge
Smith?
things.
Oh,
Yeah.
that kind of Smith.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, just like out of the things they need on that island to live there, like, I feel like a smith is what I would be drawn to
And
naturally.
we know that they do some smithing because they're going to smith a bell
Yes,
later
that
on.
did come to my mind,
Hmm.
and I'm like, okay, well, I know that's the thing they need there, and I think that's like out of the things they do on that island, that's like one of the things I would actually enjoy doing.
And it's an important, necessary task for any community,
Yep.
with especially one with their level of technology.
Hmm.
I think that's a nice answer. Would you make silver, like, would you make, like, paddles, though? Like, if I asked you for one to use on Game
Absolutely.
Grill. Okay, cool. A metal paddle.
All right.
I mean, honestly, given their amount of need, I would probably have to be more of a general craftsman, but
Hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you for the lovely question,
Thank
Aqua.
you, Aqua.
Yeah, hopefully our answers were substantial, and if mine isn't, you can deal with it. So we got another message from Spiffy Goblin.
Oh.
And he typed up a little bit of a thing here. He's like, "Hello, Loincloth Hour. Oh boy, we finally made it to the world tour. Hope everyone savored those brief, mostly silent moments with our favorite non-Goliath Manhattan clan members because we won't be seeing them again for a while.
It's gonna be
We're
so
off to
long.
see the Magus, the Twink Magus of Avalon, but it's
Oh,
like 18.
Avalon. Okay, I was like,
I'm trying to do the corny joke for him.
da 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 da
I
da
like the worst
da da
candidate for
da da
that.
da 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 da.
I rewatched this episode after your announcement because I'd forgotten the plot completely, and I'm probably going to forget most of it again soon. The writers obviously had a challenge in getting the Wyvern refugees and the eggs from point A to point B, but the story felt
Hmm.
simultaneously too sparse and too detailed. What castle is this? How well does Catherine know these people? Who is this constant? Don't worry, Spiffy, we
We
have
have
answers for all
fully
that shit.
explained all of this to you, and I hope
But it's
that you
okay,
listened.
Spiffy, because you're valid, because I was thinking these same things
Yeah,
too before I got
you
here.
only really know if you read Greg's ramble, it turns out, and luckily one of us did.
I am considering though, and if people would be interested, reading out his entire story on the background as a Patreon
Oh
special.
That
my
would be fun.
gosh, that would be fun.
Ooh.
So I would just
Let's put a
pour
pin
that one up
on
real quick.
that. All right. So, what was Constantine's relationship to the king before killing him? Speedrunning all these characters means that Catherine, Tom, and the Magus get mostly sidelined in their own story. They're just witnessing events without really affecting them. City of Stone did an amazing job with the intrigue and melodrama of the medieval politics, but this episode didn't have enough room to let this story breathe and also work in Goliath and Elisa. Maybe they should have made Avalon a four-party to give this castle story more development. Maybe cut it and find some local thread at Wyvern that chases them to Avalon to no uncle side quest needed. That being said, I can't say I hated the episode. It serves its purpose in bringing everyone to Avalon. I thought Tom was written well, both as a child and as adult, and his parting with his mom was very touching. Okay, thanks, lesbian mom. Um,
She did great. Great
Also,
job.
I really enjoyed the establishing shots used when the refugees reached the uncle's castle and when Goliath and company reach Avalon. The way they linger, pan between details, and give a sense of grand scale to the two places reminded me of Golden Age Hollywood films like Ben-Hur or Jason and the Argonauts. I'm
Yes.
glad they weren't cut to save time. Last thing I want to call attention to is the Magus's anti-roofie pill.
Yeah, he just sort of had that on
There's
him, didn't
something about
he?
the way he casually pulls this random glowing pill out of his
Here,
pocket.
yeah, like I was going to use it on someone else, but I guess I'll give it to
Gives
you.
her a rushed instruction on what to do with it, and then there's the scene of her carrying out those instructions superimposed over the pill. Did anyone else get weird CDI Zelda vibes?
That didn't even occur to me. That didn't even occur to
I
me, but you're so right,
I need to
Spiffy.
play through those games in their entirety
Yeah, me
someday.
too.
Like there is someone made a modern remake of them for PC,
My
Yes.
gosh.
and I
Yeah,
want to
those
play these
games are so
versions.
funny. Anyways, looking forward to another amazing episode from you all. Bye.
Aw, thank you, Spiffy. I thought his.
Thanks.
I agree with everything he said, basically. That, like, the episode did need more time and it did feel rushed, but I wouldn't necessarily, like, want more of it either. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it did what it needed to in a slightly confusing way.
Yeah.
yeah. And then I think we have one more email from Remy, who, I
Oh.
mean, like, I can't commend him enough. He just found out we were recording yesterday. He's got
Yeah,
stuff going
you told
on.
us that. He took the time out to make
He
a
took
message
a
for
time out
us.
to write this email for us, and
Thank you,
just like,
Remy.
I love him so much. He's the best. So he types out the following email, and bear with me here. Hello, Loincloth Hour crew. As always, a very fun episode last time. Loved all the Fang focus and Claw focus too, and of course, hassling how god awful Talon and Maggie were. Sorry to the guys, but Sid's right. And I'm unmovable object kind of stubborn, and these two numbnuts just haven't done enough to change my mind or opinion on there. Amen, Remy. You and I are the both same kind of stubborn. As for your questions about the timeline, namely how the mutates fled Xanatos' castle in September and then returned in December for the events of this episode, despite this episode saying that Derek had been missing for weeks instead of months, well, if we follow the episodes in timeline order, Metamorphosis was the second episode of this season, while The Cage is the 19th. So it makes sense for a lot of time to have passed in between, as we've seen in Halloween. And the
Right.
episode's supposed to take place directly after this one, The Price, the events of which happen just a couple of days after the events of The Cage. It's snowing in that one as it's December, which doesn't explain where that snow went for this first episode of Avalon. I guess Weissman just came up with a detailed timeline later on. Okay, Remy, you don't have to call Greg out on his
Greg,
shortcomings,
do
okay?
better, Greg.
Like literally, like Greg is piecing the breadcrumb trail together, but yeah, we all agree he didn't have it laid out when he first laid the little trail out.
And just
Anyways,
we know he had to make so many changes also to
yeah.
the episode listings.
And indeed, when we finally reached the start of the Avalon saga, I remember when I first watched this episode, seeing the reveals and the flashbacks. I thought it was pretty awesome seeing Tom all grown up, seeing what happened to him and the others after the events of the series beginning, getting to follow up on them after so long. That was yet another sign of how differently and better this series hit, how things can be connected, how things that happen in one episode can come back to the forefront later on. Yeah, I love that shit too. And it's like, and rather than most cartoons episodic ways. And I do love that shit too, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that happened in like a lot of the recent comics is gonna come back up in like future storylines too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mind you, I had no idea of the concept of Avalon in general, so it was extra interesting to see for me to see all this unfold, even if most of it felt like soap opera with the whole thing regarding Constantine and the other characters. I
Yes,
like
it did.
the additions of Fenella and the sadly short-lived Kenneth, who was
Real
voiced by the same
another Kenneth fan.
Remy is literally me though. So Kenneth was voiced by the same actor who voices Xanatos' dad and
Nice.
Odin, and also Limburger and Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh, not as nice.
Not as nice now.
He only voices hot old man and Limburger.
You know how rare it is to see a dirty old man in a cartoon geared towards all audiences? That was so refreshing. There was all the drama, the escape, and the genuinely emotional moment of Mary having said goodbye to her son. And it bums me out we haven't seen much of Mary and Fenella ever since. Okay, so we just went over some time dancer shit, but then again, I also know Remy doesn't like Brooklyn either, so.
I mean, that's fair.
Brooklyn meets them.
Yes, Brooklyn does meet them. I can't wait to see the further adventures of Mary and Fenella whenever we get more
Yes.
Time Dancer.
I want the series to be called
Like,
that, The Further Adventures
oh,
of Mary and
so one
Fenella.
of the things that Greg brought up was that if he could make whatever shows he wanted,
Time Dancer.
no, not Time Dancer, he wants to make a show that just stars Mary and Fenella. Like that would be one of his ideal shows. But he's well aware that he could never market such a thing. but he wants to make it
Okay, what they should
anyways.
do. Okay, are they still making that fucking live action Gargoyles TV show? Have we heard anything
I
about this
hate
for
that
months?
shit. Just let
But
Greg do what he
if they're
wants.
making a show like that, make it about human characters. Save yourself money.
Yeah,
Make it about Mary and Fenella in the 70s or whatever.
yeah.
And like maybe a gargoyle shows up like once in the whole show.
Um,
So
but yes, like that they are beloved characters by him, and he wants to do more with them. Is was the
I
short
love
version.
that because I would not have known that they were beloved characters just by watching this show.
Oh,
That's so fun.
it's like so much of the show, his decision making has to be about running a show, and
Yeah,
not
of
what does he
course.
personally want to do.
all right, so then Remy continues. I found the flashbacks more interesting than the modern day stuff. Tom says he's been leaving Avalon every 100 normal world years to check on Goliath, but Avalon sends people all over the world, and New York wasn't the first stop on Tom's trip this time. More on that later. So
Hmm.
him being flabbergasted about modern things feels a bit odd. You'd think he'd ask how things have changed. Plus, the whole thing with the familiar thugs and the cops just felt so silly. Why are you thugs laughing at the whole thing? You got arrested, you dumb fucks.
Yeah, they just did arrested a lot, and they're into that.
Alright. And then even the cop, Phil, miming sword fighting at Morgan in the station. What are you, eight? I remember that scene.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
remember
I
watching
remember
that
because there was
scene.
no dialogue at
Yeah,
all, and
yeah.
I was
I
like,
was
especially
just
you don't
like,
want to hire voice
when
actors
I
for
first
this.
watched that as a child and I saw that movement, I didn't realize that's what he was doing.
What did you think he was
I thought it
doing?
was like an animation error.
He's just like spazzing out.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is that?
No, he's doing Errol Flynn stuff.
No, yeah. I thought he was like shooting finger guns the second time I watched
It
it.
just sort of looked like that too, because he is making like this sort of the finger gun
Yeah.
sort of motion.
But overall, this is a good start to the three-parter, bringing back familiar faces, letting us know what happened to them, and setting up for the threat that they'll have to face. It worked quite well. As for the timeline, the events of this episode start on December 27th, and it's after midnight on the 28th that the group leaves for Avalon, though the timeline says that it started snowing on the 21st, and the price started on the 22nd.
I
So,
guess the
like,
snow all melted.
I wondered earlier, where the hell did all that snow go in less than a week?
We had a couple nice warm sunny days. It's all gone.
Also, sure doesn't look it in the show, but between Catherine's group taking the eggs from the castle and going to live with her Uncle Kenneth, and then fleeing to go to Avalon to hide from Constantine, almost a whole year had passed. As for Tom, he had departed Avalon on November 20th, and on the 21st, while the events of Revelations were taking place, Tom walked to a village nearby, and the locals told him what became of the Castle Wyvern, how it ended up in Manhattan. Then on the 22nd, he returns to the castle's old grounds and explores the Archmage's cavern, and he's still there on the
Whoa.
23rd, where the ghosts of Hakon and the captain hear him talking to himself.
What?
And that is how they find out Goliath is possibly still alive.
Wait, how do we know this? Was this in the comic or something?
I don't know.
How
Ask
does how
Remy.
does Remy know? Remy, how do you know this?
I don't know.
Who,
Remy and I
who,
just
hear,
know
who
things
hears the Ghost of Hakon again? I feel like I know
The
this.
ghost of Hakon hears Tom talking to himself.
Oh, okay.
about Goliath, and that's how they find out he's
Oh,
probably
right.
still alive.
Yeah, no, that is from Ask Greg. I have seen that one.
Greg,
Yeah.
It's
you're crazy, Greg. You're crazy.
yeah. Someone. Well, okay. So this is one of those ones where someone asked him, "How do they know?" And he's like, "You know what? Tom
Tom
did
did it.
it. It was definitely not one of those things that he thought out. I'm pretty sure he just was like, "Here's your
What
answer.
about the
Have
magical
fun."
spirit powers of the afterlife that can help them know things? Like, what about that?
Yeah, you think like you could just have said that they're ghosts, and I don't know. That's how they do it.
Sometimes, like, when you're reading his posts, sometimes he just likes to make up crazy things and just see if people believe him.
Yeah, I feel
If
like
they're when people
I
ask
get
him
that
about
vibe a
pointless,
lot when you read his stuff. Like,
yeah, like I've read his stuff enough to know that like when people ask him stuff that is completely pointless, he'll often just throw out these ludicrous answers, and the fandom just takes him
They
at face
just take it
value.
and make it fully canon. They put it on Garb
I
Wiki and it's
think that
canon now.
I think that way about the gargoyles
So-
vaginas because
Yes, that's one of those answers. I was like, I don't think we're meant to take it seriously. That it kills people.
Seriously,
I thought it was.
I don't think it
But
is.
it is fully canon though.
Like
Because he said
No.
it.
Like, he says these things. So I'm
I
like,
think he just said that to anger all the soy boys who are simping for Demona.
yes! That's what I'm saying!
Gargoyle vaginas kill men, and gargoyle dicks
I guess
also
because I've
kill
never
men.
wanted to
They're
simp for
so big.
Demona, I didn't get it. Now I get it.
Um,
Okay, so, and then Remy leaves it off.
take everything he says with a grain of salt, unless it's, like, an actual serious question, is all I'm saying.
He's a funny guy.
Like,
All
he likes
right,
to have fun.
went along again as per usual. Remy says, "Thank you for your time and all your hard work, guys. I look forward to your takes in this three-parter. You all take care and keep being awesome."
You take care, and you keep being awesome. Thank you,
Um,
everyone who emailed
I
us.
need to post like that "Do It for Him" with the chain thug
That was
Oh my
blue
so
god.
sky.
good. Sid made a funny little meme of Lawrence from with the "Do It for Him" from The Simpsons, and
Yeah, I guess it's from The Simpsons. It was
it
originally
made
"Do
me
It to Her."
guffaw
Yeah.
out loud. I went, oh,
And
just
then
like
like
that.
Spiffy sent a funny image of like that scene from Toy Story 2 where Andy's like, I don't want to play with you anymore, but it's like he's dropping like a picture of like the trio and Hudson.
No, no. I do want to keep playing with
I
them.
want to play with Hudson.
Yeah,
Play with his
yeah,
balls. I don't know.
yeah. Go bowling with them.
All right, have we
Um,
got anything else?
that's it.
That's it. We're done. Okay. Hi, everybody. If you want to keep up with my writing, blog posts, and general updates, you can find me as at Sid Scripts on both Blogspot and Tumblr. And then you can follow me on Blue Sky at sidscripts.bluesky.social. That's SYD Scripts. For the fanfic readers, I'm over on AO3 as Stargazer Sid. If you're interested in my mountain of music catalog, you can track my ratings and reviews on Rate Your Music. And be sure to check out my music projects on Bandcamp. That's Scrap Metal Skyscrapers and Stag in the Headlights. And finally, for the art and animation crowd, you can find me on Tumblr at Gay Cartoon Gifts and on For Affinity as Alistair Alderman.
So many places, so many different types of
Yeah,
people.
I wear a lot of hats.
And you can find me under the name Manicorn on Blue Sky on Patreon if you'd like to fund some of my writing, and on Archive of Our Own if you'd like to read some of my writing. And you can find me under the name Croup on Fur Affinity. And I should also say, while I'm pledging myself, I will be appearing on an episode of Walloping Web Snappers soon, which is a Spider-Man podcast. I will be helping the Dives Over There review an episode of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which I'm told will have the X-Men in it. So look for me over there. I don't know when it'll show up. I'm gonna be recording with them like towards the
That's
end of the month. So
exciting.
I'll probably have to talk about how hot Colossus and Wolverine are. So that
Juggernaut.
will be fun. I don't think Juggernaut's in it
Oh
in
shit.
this episode, but I can still talk about how hot he is. What's gonna
True.
stop me? Them? What are they
Yeah.
gonna do? Edit me out? Maybe.
It's happened to the best of us.
You can find me on Blue Sky for Affinity and AO3 as Pangolin Huron.
Hurrah!